Hi, welcome to another episode of Foxy Little Nuggets, the show that looks at British politics and asks, is there an adult in the room? Or has he been deselected, or resigned, or joined a WhatsApp group marked Andy's Cabinet? We'll begin, I think, with Keir Starmer, who, according to all reports, spent the weekend in Chequers, reflecting on his future and coming to the rather inevitable conclusion that he hasn't got one. The knives are out, the curtains are being measured, and even the Netflix password has been changed. And after Andy Burnham's massive victory in Makerfield, Labour MPs have developed a stunning and extraordinary new medical condition, sudden onset loyalty disorder. Only days ago, Starmer was insisting he would fight on. Now, senior figures are apparently urging him to go, to set out a timetable for his departure, to leave and ne'er be seen again. Peter File says the the Prime Minister is reflecting on the political realities, which is sort of translation into normal speak as being the ship's hit the iceberg and the Cabinet is discussing whether the deck chairs should be removed, moved or painted. Painted what though? Red probably. Yvette Cooper has reportedly told him to go. His own Foreign Secretary. Others are a bit wobbly. Nobody really wants to commit beyond the one or two that we'll suspect would, because they know if he goes, they go. Think Reeves and Lammy, for example. Reeves is also expected to be ousted very soon and may even be fired by Starmer himself in a fit of pique. Excuse me. I've got an allergy to Reeves. Burnham himself arrives in Westminster in a few short hours. He's there to swear the oath of allegiance. Newly elected, freshly empowered, the new boy, the youngest member, as they say, the newest boy in the Commons. He'll be surrounded by Labour MPs, pretending that they always liked him and were very supportive, especially someone like Wes Streeting, who's looking to become Chancellor. But next, of course, we're going to move to Scotland very quietly, where the Tories have won Aberdeen South. Now, it's the first Tory Westminster win for years, nearly 60 years. But it isn't just a Tory victory here. This is causing a conniption fit within the SNP, because they've realised they've lost an election on a policy that they think is important. They want to end the North Sea. And the Tories have won the vote on keeping the North Sea. And by that, I obviously don't mean the actual North Sea itself. That's going nowhere. No, I mean the oil and gas industry. Now, if they have that sudden realisation that pushing this agenda is going to cost them victories, how quickly will it be? And before all of a sudden they dump it and annoy the Greens? Because you see, they need the Greens. The Greens have to be placated or they can't run the country. And so they've got to kiss green arse, but at the same time, they know that kissing green arse is going to cost them seats. It's an interesting one. We need a few more by-elections, don't we? MSP and MP in Scottish constituencies. And then all the Tories and the Reform and etc. all have to do is say they are pro-gas, pro-oil, pro-North Sea. And watch the seats of the SNP fade away into irrelevance. And that's, I'm afraid, how it's going to go. Even Unite's Sharon Graham is saying that both Labour and the SNP have got this one wrong. We need oil. We've got to push it. So where we go there. While we're in Scotland, just a quick trip across to the Scottish Prison Service, only because this one's a cracker. The law has been clarified in the High Court, where the SNP have been sued and lost, and it is illegal now in Scotland to hold men in women's estate in prison. That's been the decision by the judge, Lady Ross. The Scottish Prison Service said, though, we need to take a look and understand the law. No, you don't. The law's been laid down. And because of it, it now means that every single woman in the Scottish Prison Service can now sue the Scottish Prison Service and the SNP government if men in their estate are not removed. Four Women in Scotland said, we'll back that one, we'll help prosecute them. And who's paying for the prosecutions? Step forward. J.K. Rowling, who is waving her magic wand, which is in the shape of a checkbook, and she's going to sign them and hand that money over to solicitors who will then run rampant through the Scottish Prison Service, suing and suing and suing until every single penny has been taken from them because their politics do not align with the law. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is Scotland's new constitutional settlement. It's more a settlement out of court, though. Finally, I'm going to talk about Lambeth, where the Green-led council has commissioned a review into cooperation with immigration and decided they're having no truck with that. They don't want to help people who are looking to throw out illegal immigrants. You know, these people who've come over here, these poor people have come from terrible places. They've travelled through, 7 or 8 safe countries and finally got to Britain where they're given lots of money, provided with children, and when the children aren't good enough, they can go and kill people on the streets. And we're supposed to accept this. Of course, a lot more people aren't accepting it, and the government's realised that it's not the best thing, and so they're pretending that they've got these enforcement agents. Well, the Greens have said, well, we're not going to comply. Well, the plan now is that apparently that failure to comply could lead in a court case and possible imprisonment. That's all it takes, isn't it? Stick 1 or 2 in prison, and the Greens will wilt. And there's nothing like wilted Greens. But there we go. Finally, though, and finally it should be, a small act of public mercy. Somewhere in Britain tonight, one person will switch off the news, make a cup of tea, look at the dog, and realise the dog has a better grasp of government than half the cabinet. The dog does not lead a leadership timetable. The dog does not commission a review. The dog does not claim the ferry crisis as a one-off. The dog simply wants food, a walk, and a nation where adults occasionally remember what they're for. Frankly, at this point, I'd put the dog in charge of infrastructure. My only problem is my dog's not here. My dog's back with my sister, and I miss him. But that's the difference, isn't it? I look at my dog, I treat him as an equal. He looks at me and he treats me as a god. I hug him, I cuddle him, and, I pick up after him. But there we go. Dogs. They're easier to train than politicians. They're cheaper to run, and they don't make stupid decisions. Nobody wants to run around clearing up after a politician. Their piles of shit are much, much bigger. Still, when we get home, I will do another video with the dog. Thank you very much. I hope that's been great. I will speak to you tomorrow and wish you a good night. Until then, take care, stay safe, and don't do anything I wouldn't do. Do it. Bye.